Hey guys, so I'm just off the cuff, just gonna be recording this quick video, so you might be wondering why I'm making a separate upload. Well, and I'm using the same thumbnail. Well, it's because I was a dolt, and I forgot to check my audio levels before stream, and now that the stream is up, I realized that my audio is cut, because I didn't remember to make sure that my audio was connected to my OBS. So, I'm not satisfied with the end product, and so I'm going to be re-commentating over the battle. It is kind of unnecessary, I know, but at the same time, I also want to re-watch this stream, and I want to make sure that I am satisfied with the end product, and even though it is what it is, I still want to deliver some justice to this battle, because this battle was very fun. This week we had Jake versus Eric, and it was a very interesting and fun battle, with a lot of back and forth between the two. And I just wanted to show that off and deliver some of my thoughts mid-stream, and I guess this is post-stream, and then just deliver a satisfying product here. So, yeah, that's why I am here today bringing you this video. I don't want to over-explain it, because I'm pretty sure you already know, and if you don't know, well, now you know. But we're just going to be transitioning right into the video here. I'll make sure that I mute that. And, alright. So first up, we have Eric versus Jake. Now, on Eric's side, he did end up bringing the Fungus, along with the Pelipper for the Rain. Lipard, which is just a very solid prankster user with Fake Out and a lot of disruption tools. You got the Iron Crown here, bringing it the really strong special attacking stuff. Crawdaunt. And finally, Salamence. On Jake's side, he did bring the Regirock, as well as the Volcarona, the Hydrapple, Titan, Abomasnow, and Hatterene. Now, on Jake's side, it is very much a Trick Room team, but he does have some alternate methods of speed control, namely the Tailwind on the Volcarona, as well as the Slush Rush to Titan with the Snow right next to the Abomasnow. And of course, the Hatterene does have Trick Room. Covert Cloak is a very common item that he likes to run on it, because it prevents Fake Out, and because it has Magic Bounce as an ability, it is immune to Taunt as well. So it is just a very strong and very effective Trick Room user on his side. Eric does, however, have the Rain, and so it does allow him to get some sort of a Rain advantage. Alright, already starting off. Oh, I should explain this quick. I am going to be trying to retread some of the commentary that I did, but, you know, it is what it is. Here we have the lead with Lipard and Iron Crown next to the redirecting Volcarona and Hatterene. Now, the Hatterene is very obviously weak to Tachyon Cutter from Iron Crown, but the Volcarona can redirect it with Rage Powder. Now, as we said before, the Hatterene does like to run Covert Cloak, but because Lipard has Fake Out, he could Fake Out the Volcarona before it has a chance to use Rage Powder. Okay, we see here. Okay, we get a flinch. Terra Blast Ground into the Hatterene, non-Terra, and we get Trick Room up. So this, I understand the play here. The Terra Ground was to call out a Terra Steel on the Hatterene. However, with the non-Terra, it doesn't have enough firepower, and the Hatterene is able to set up its Trick Room here. And now Eric's game plan is pretty much to stall. Because with the Trick Room up, it's very hard for Eric to get any speed advantage here. And we have to kind of see what these two plan to do. The Lipard cannot Fake Tears into it because it does have Magic Bounce, which bounces back all status moves, I should explain. And we see here with the Volcarona. The Volcarona can still Rage Powder to redirect any types of moves into the Hatterene. Now, let's see, on this side, the Lipard can no longer Fake Out since the turn is over. We get a Protect from the Hatterene, a Protect from the Iron Crown, Rain Dance and Overheat into the protection from the Iron Crown. That overheat, if it was to connect, would probably not have killed, because of the rain plus the not super effective because of Terra Ground on the Iron Crown. Overheat is still going to do a lot of damage on it though. Now, let's see, this Hatterene is Trick Room Protect, as you can see here. It still has access to Dazzling Gleam here. Dazzling Gleam could be very strong, bringing the Lipard down to its Focus Sash. The Lipard here has to still somehow get its, yep, here we go, Sash. Tachyon Cutter is going to go into the Iron, not the Iron Moth, the Volcarona. Snarl is going to lower the special attack. Oh, a Jetpack! It's a Jetpack here, bringing the Abomasnow out to return the snow. And obviously we do see that the Hatterene is Covert Cloak because it didn't get the special attack drop. And now we know that this Volcarona has an Eject Pact, which will switch you out as soon as a stat is lowered, which makes sense because it had Overheat last turn. It used Overheat, so it's probably going to use an Overheat, switch out into the Abomasnow. Now this Lipard here is on its last threads. It basically only has Snarl as its move, and while it can do that again, I'm pretty sure this Abomasnow has the Ice Shard that can take it out before it moves. This Iron Crown as well is kind of in an awkward position. He needs to somehow stall this Trick Room out as long as possible in order for him to have at least a chance of winning. So we get the Rain Dance to return the rain back up. Energy Ball into the Tachyon, or the Iron Crown, and now we are in a very awkward situation where Jake is up 4-2 with Eric down to his last 2 Pokemon. And it was very smart on Jake's part to actually save the Mega for if he had the Pelipper in the back, because now he can Mega Evolve into Abomasnow to get the weather back onto Snow. And now that the Pelipper is stuck on the field, it can no longer turn on the Snow. With the Trick Room up, it is going to get an Aurora Veil, and Hurricane is going to miss into the Abomasnow, which is very unfortunate. The Aurora Veil on that side is pretty strong, and anything that happens now is going to not hit. Hurricane lands from that, and Hurricane lands again. It is a double Hurricane. That is actually insane. Insane luck. 70% is not in rain. Unfortunately, the Hatterene is very strong and is going to take out the Dazzling Gleam in a very clean, pretty much 3-0 here. Hatterene is very bulky, very strong on Jake's side. Going on to game 2, we're not sure here how to go about this. It looked like the redirection from the Volcarona was very, very hard for Eric to deal with, because with that, you basically have a 50-50. The Volcarona, obviously you can fake out the Volcarona, but then you are then stuck in a, okay, does it Terra or does it not Terra, right? If it does Terra, then your Tachyon Cutter is going to be resisted damage, and then the Trick Room goes up. Or you can try to read the Terra with Terra Ground, but as we saw last round, the Terra Ground into the Psychic Fairy type Hatterene is not going to have enough damage to one-shot it. And you can't really rely on other ways to deal with the Hatterene unless you know, because especially with its not being Fake Tears immune because of Magic Bounce, it is very hard to one-shot this thing. Other common items on Hatterene too is Focus Sash, but obviously with Tachyon Cutter being a multi-hit, it would kind of go through that. So this being very specially bulky on the Hatterene side is just really strong and hard to deal with, Eric to deal with. And it's going to be up to him to see how he pivots and diverts this lead here. If he can find some way to counteract the Rage Powder Trick Room. But as we know from Jake, Trick Room is not the only thing he can do. As we can see here, the lead Lipard with Salamence switching it up on Eric's side. And Jake goes for the Snow Warning, turning up the snow with the Satitan. This Intimidate from the Salamence is going to bring down the attack on the Satitan and the attack down on the Abomasnow. However, we have seen that it used Energy Ball last round, so probably especially offensive Abomasnow here. It does, right now, the Titan does have the Slush Rush speed advantage. However, we do know from last game that the Liepard can turn the snow into rain with Rain Dance. So it is, again, up to Jake to remove the, what's it called, the Liepard from the field so that it can take it out and then ensure that it can Mega Evolve the next turn to reset the snow. And even if, right here, Eric sets up the snow, or the rain, I mean, it's going to be hard for him to take out this Titan, since rain is going to weaken fire-type moves into it. The Titan could also be Thick Fat, now that I think about it, so it could be resisted to fire-type moves anyways, and in the rain, it's going to be even doing even less damage. However, I guess it's not going to be Thick Fat if it's got Slush Rush. Hurricanes will still hurt, though. That is going to be a Stab Hurricane in the rain. Still going to do a lot of damage. And he can always target the Abomasnow too. We see the Terra Steel, protect from the Abomasnow, Rain Dance, Draco, gets a crit! Crit Draco Meteor. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We can see Eric in the chat saying that 100% mattered. That crit probably did matter. However, this is not the worst position for Jake here. He sends out the Volcarona, and this Salamence needs to switch out because it has the minus special attack drop. It is not going to be doing a lot. And he also did use up his Terra right here on the Terra Steel. We can see the switch out into Iron Crown. The Mega Evolution on the Abomasnow is going to bring it up, bring the snow back up. Snarl is going to lower the special attack, which is great, and the Eject Pact is going to pop, bringing the Volcarona out into the Hatterene. Energy Ball here coming from the Abomasnow is going to be weakened from the Snarl. And now we're in a very interesting position where the one thing that was keeping Eric from clicking Tachyon Cutter, the Volcarona, is in the back. And both Pokemon on this team, both the Hatterene and the Abomasnow, are weak to Tachyon Cutter. And this is a Quark Drive special attack boosted Iron Cutter. So this is going to be doing 30% more on top of, you know, being super effective. So the one thing that was keeping Jake from deterring a Tachyon Cutter is like the one thing that is gone, is now off the field, thanks to the Snarl Eject Pack. Rain Dance back up. Ice Shard is not going to kill. Tachyon Cutter into the Abomasnow. So now the snow is permanent. And then Trick Room's up. So, yeah, that was actually an interesting play because Eric used up the Terra Ground, or Terra on the Salamence. He can no longer Terra Ground into the Hatterene, and now he is stuck in Trick Room. Again, he has to kind of stall out this turn. Fake Tears, Rage Powder, most likely was targeting that anyways if he was clicking Fake Tears. Getting the special attack drop, and then Dazzling Gleam is going to kill the Liepard. And I totally forgot that Eric still had a fourth Pokemon. We have the Pelipper here. Out. Wide Guard on this side. However, Mystical Fire from the Hatterene is going to be super effective, lowering the special attack on the Iron Crown. But it doesn't matter. Psychic is going to kill the Volcarona thanks to the ×2... or the -2 special defense from the Fake Tears on the previous turn. And now it is just a Hatterene on the field. Wide Guard was also used for the Dazzling Gleam in this case. However, the Dazzling Gleam is not going to do enough damage because it is not Stab, and its Rain is up, so it's cutting the damage even further. Yeah, and the special attack drop on the Tachyon Cutter is going to be pretty hard. Scald is going to do 71 damage, and then Psychic 24, just barely, not enough to kill this this Pokemon. The Hatterene still has one more turn to see if it can do something. Dazzling Gleam, Wide Guards though from the Pelipper for resisting the Steel move, or the Fairy move, and then Psychic is just going to take home the victory. So Eric actually wins, and we are getting into a Game 3, despite the lead, despite the first game being pretty decisive. And the Trick Room going up game 2, it was just a little bit too late without his Trick Room Sweeper in Abomasnow and Titan. Or any of his mons, the Regirock, the Hydrapple. He was just stuck with the very slow in Trick Room Volcarona. And now it's up to Eric to see if he can extend this lead, or if Jake can somehow bring this back. As you can see here, it is up to these two on how they play this. I think it's still very strong of a lead to just have the Volcarona next to the Hatterene, forcing the 50-50s on Eric. And if I'm Eric, you have to know that, like, alright, you have to play into this 50-50 mind game, whether you want a Terra or you want to keep your Terra. And as we see here, the same lead from game 1, Liepard, Iron Crown, next to Jake's Hatterene, now on the left side, and Volcarona on the right side. Ooh, switching it up a little bit. Hatterene, for sure, just wants to set up the Trick Room, with the Volcarona weak to Fake Out. Not a weak to Fake Out, but is susceptible to Fake Out. And then, again, that puts you in the 50-50 if you're Eric. Whether you want a Terra Ground, hit him with a Terra Blast, or a Tachyon Cutter. We get to Protect here from Hatterene. The Volcarona then goes for that. And we see Eric just going for the Tachyon Cutter, reading the not Terra, but with the protects it for one turn. And now, the Volcarona, it does take a Fake Out, but now that it's past the first turn, Fake Out is not active. And that puts him in a tough spot. Because now Eric kinda just has to find some way to get the Terra right. Like, I mean, Tachyon Cutter is gonna go into the Volcarona. You know Trick Room's coming. What if you just, like, Fake Tears into the Volcarona and just try to kill it? You know, just kind of play into the Trick Room happening and just try to remove the Volcarona. Because once the Volcarona is gone, you don't have to worry about any redirecting nonsense. You can just click your Tachyon Cutter, which is strong into most things here. The Regirock, it's a Titan. Okay, Rage Powder, but the Snarl special attack out the Volcarona, switches out the Volcarona, so the Rage Powder is not active anymore, and Tachyon Cutter hits the Hatterene before it's able to use Trick Room. the Trick Room, or not the Trick Room, the Eject Pact ruined Jake, his strategy. And as we can see here in the chat, Jake is saying that he needs to kill William because, see, now that is crazy. That is crazy here. Snarl forcing the redirection mon out, that is being Volcarona, and because the Volcarona is gone, the Rage Powder doesn't go into that slot, it goes into the slot that he targeted, which was the Hatterene. Rain dances from the Liepard. Overheat is not going to kill thanks to the Rain cutting the firepower of Overheat in half. Pollen Puff is going to come from the Hydrapple, and then the Liepard is going to live on 1 thanks to its Focus Sash. Without the Trick Room up, it is going to be hard for Jake to make a comeback here. However, he still does have redirection from the Hatterene, or from the Volcarona, to save, like, the Hydrapple for one more turn. The Liepard here living is actually huge because it does allow it to get another Fake Tears off. However, Snarl, ooh, the Hydrapple lives on just 1. And Psychic is just going to kill that right away. Earth Power from the Hydrapple is going to take it out. Oh, but it was Life Orb. Yeah, I'm commentating for the first time. I didn't even realize that it was Life Orb. That round. We do see the Abomasnow all by its lonesome against an Intimidate Salamence. And yes, even though the snow is up, this Abomasnow is not going to be able to take out these 4 Pokemon, or these 3 Pokemon here. Ice Shard is then going to take out the Liepard. It was able to get a special defense drop off from the from the Fake Tears. However, it's not going to be enough. Eric still does have a Terra on his Salamence. The Pelipper, it's going to be hard for him to break through here. And as you can see here, yeah, that was incredibly well played. Terra Steals. Okay, Wide Guard coming in, but it's too late. Draco Meteor on the -2 special defense drop. Abomasnow is just going to one-shot it. And Eric is going to take game 3. Now, at this point in the commentary, or at this point in the match, Josh has already joined, but unfortunately, he's not here to interrupt me this time. So it is just me. And at this point in time, also Jake and Eric would have joined the call to explain their matches. I just want to take this time to say that both of these players played incredibly well. Despite the eject pack kind of screwing over Jake's plan in the end, he really he couldn't have expected a snarl, right? Like, it was the only scenario in which case that would have happened. And it just so happened that Eric had the right tool to deal with a Rage Powder Volcarona, right? Yeah, it is really upsetting that what are the chances that Eric would bring Snarl on his Liepard this 1 week, right? That totally screws over his one game plan of redirecting with Rage Powder. But at the same time, it is draft. That's the kind of thing that happens. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong. And that is something that we have learned this season. And going forward, it's not really anybody's like fault, right? Like, who would have thought, like, honestly, the eject pack overheat was good tech. It was cool to have like a slow pivot from your very fast Volcarona to bring in a safe switch to the Abomasnow that lets it get the snow up to then use Aurora Veil in Trick Room or, God forbid, Blizzard spam. It just so happened that in this scenario, it just didn't happen to work out. And especially, too, with Overheat being an attack, if it goes into a protection move, like Protect, or if it misses, God forbid, then you basically don't do anything that turn. And of course, it is a 90% accurate move. But at the same time, again, in draft, if something can go wrong, it usually will. But that's the point of Pokemon, you know. It's all about managing luck and, you know, risk versus reward. So again, very excellent plays from these two players. Jake played phenomenally. Eric played really well. And it was just kind of fun to see that really, really strange interaction. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks all for watching or listening, whatever is the case. And see you next time.